Welcome to the first ever episode of Awesome Marriages, an initiative by Saranjali. So today we have an amazing couple who have touched more than 10 million lives across 30 countries, and they are one of our favorite couples.
Absolutely, and we are glad to start our episode number 1 with them, Veronica and Richard, the founder of Success Resources.
Success Resources is the world's leading events promoter of business, personal development, and wealth creation programs. For over 30 years, we've helped over 10 million people across 30 countries unlock their full potential. From North America to Europe to Africa to Asia to Oceania, we are the key to your personal success. We open the door to the world's best speakers such as Anthony Robbins, Sir Richard Branson, Robert Kiyosaki, and T. Harv Eker, to name a few. We have over 500 events a year and access to the greatest thinkers, achievers, and motivators of our time. We guide you to the success that lies in every one of us.
But you will not discover your greatness in your comfort zone.
We have never really truly reached our destination. There's always another level to strive for. Your best is yet to come. Success Resources, your learning partners.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Veronica and Richard, for coming for us in this series, which is called Awesome Marriages. You're the first guys to be there. We
Yes.
adore you. We love you. We have been seeing you and following you. So how long you guys been married?
Well, it seems like yesterday. It has been 26 years ago, but it seems like yesterday. It has been a fun-filled journey with a lot of experience. But I think for me, I feel it's really it's a very purposeful, meaningful partnership relationship that I had with Richard.
And was your marriage a love marriage or an arranged marriage?
Actually, it's arranged. It's arranged by my wife.
Angeline, so this is called taking control of your life, right? When we want something, if it's not happening or it's taking time to happen, then we make things happen. So I have to arrange it.
Absolutely, I agree. Even I did the same.
See, so sometimes it has to take a woman to be in charge to call the shot and arrange everything, and then just say, show up here this day, this time.
Absolutely, that's so true. Because even in our case, it happens in a similar way where I took the charge and I made sure that our marriage happens. And so, how were your initial days like?
Initially, yeah, she was hot.
But what does that mean?
Hotter.
Hotter.
Now she's bigger, but initially she was hot. Now she's big. Yeah, but we have a lot of fun when we were young.
So, do you guys fight? If yes, what kind of fights?
Oh, you didn't see the bruise inside.
It's a
Oh.
the one-sided fight. So many years ago, Veronica asked me a question. She says, darling, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? No, I choose to be happy.
I just want to understand, yes, I believe that's a fun part. That's the understanding you guys have. Now, did you actually fight?
Yeah, we do have our fight. So there's a difference between always want to be right or doing the right thing. Yeah. So there's a difference between like I say, doing the right thing sometimes doesn't mean that you put yourself first. Yeah. So a lot of people they don't know the difference between they always want to be right, but doing the right thing is different from just want to be right.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Absolutely.
And every married couple, if they understand this, their marriage is sorted, the fights are sorted.
Absolutely.
Like we always say, it's always win-win in marriage. So there is no win-lose. You win, your partner wins, always.
It's better to come from the mindset of we don't want to get into the fight. So you actually prevent the fight from even happening, to say, I'm not going to get there. So if there's an issue, a conflict, a disagreement, let's say we resolve it there and then, than to allow it to lead it to a fight that leaves one of us unhappy, correct? The mutual agreement that what can come out of this disagreement could be something better, or like I said, let's take down our ego and agree. Because I think a lot of, maybe like, I think if I speak from the women's side, Anjali may agree with me that in this day, women are very independent, we are successful, we are equally, we can do anything that the man can do actually, right? In the real scenario now. But the truth is that you become a wife, like it or not, you make your husband more important in some decision. Let him be the leader and stay low and humble, one level below him. And I think that will create a peaceful environment than to say, I want my say, and you make him feel lousy, correct? So I think it's about coming from the basic of the humility of know where your place should be as a wife and as a career woman, or even as a business owner yourself. So this is where I come from as a wife, in the sense that, so I'm very fortunate that, Richard equally agreed to think the same way, and so it's better to be happy. He too has sometimes just let go of certain things and say, you take care of it, it's not my area.
Like, for example, I had to do this interview with you, two of you, right? So I asked Veronica, I say, why am I doing all this all the time? She said, because you are the CEO of the company. I said, who says so? She says, I say so.
We do have argument, disagreement, but we will resolve it. We do not want to go into the area of fighting and screaming at each other, disagreement and all that. I say, probably if I look back, probably it's just once or twice. So I learned a lesson that it's not nice, it's a bad feeling that why you want to go there, correct? It doesn't get you anywhere. You still have to come back.
That's such a beautiful thing which you shared, Veronica.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing. And that's what we also say to couples, whoever we guide, that it's a choice. Whenever fight happens, you can extend that fight or you can resolve that fight. So it's the choice what you make. So even we fight, but what we do after the fight matters a lot.
So have you experienced tough times in your marriage, and how did you sail through it? So what made you stick together in those times?
Yeah, I think we all face difficult time in our relationship. The difficult time we went through sometimes is with the in-laws, with business, with the children, etc. The Bible teaches about putting your spouse first. Yeah, in the Old Testament, God told Abraham to leave her parent to be with him, right? So in a sense that when a couple decided to make sure that the relationship are in proper order, what do we mean by proper order? If the spouse can show or can express to your spouse that she is the most important person in his life, yeah. So the hierarchy is very important. Express, or you can show, or you can take your spouse to be more important than your children or even your parent. Then your spouse will be in partnership, because many times in relationship, maybe the husband may be jealous that the wife is so close to put the mother first, or the wife may find difficult because the husband put the parent first. So if you can show your wife that she is in the hierarchy, she is more important to you than even your parent and your children, you find that your wife will be a partner to look after your children and your parent, right? Otherwise you have this problem, right? Sometimes, like for example in business, right, nothing is more important than, if husband and wife work together, nothing is more important than your spouse who are working together, not extra sales or not extra revenue or any other thing. If you can put all these priority right, you will be able to sail through all the problem.
As a woman, I'm sure all women listening, you will know that when you know your spouse or your husband put you as number one, that gives us a lot of confidence and certainty, right? That we have our position right. And whatever he has to do is just let's say something he has to do to serve, to support his parent. And you will also notice that for me, if he does that I will help him to look after his family, his children, his mother, his parents, his sisters, then very naturally you will see he will do the same to your family. So you see, that's how we work in partnership. And that takes away all this jealousy or fear of loss or fear of not good enough, or even become very suspicious that your husband is not loving you, right? So I think because of what he did, he put us in priority, then we have confidence and certainty to be his partner and work together.
In fact, I teach this I share this with my children also. Hey, you got to put your wife first, ahead of your parent. not something that every parent would want to do, but this, if you follow this, the hierarchy or the structure will be very strong. The relationship structure will be strong.
Your partner should be your priority, and we follow that. We do that. Even the same thing we are going to teach to our kids when they grow up. And this is what we share with other couples also, that when they are confused whom to take support, like whether we should support our parents or our wife or husband. So this is something which we say then, that make your partner a priority. Communicate that to your parents, they will understand. And it should not come from the burden. It should come that from the point of view of understanding that yes, my partner should be my priority. That's when my marriage will be a partnership marriage. That's when my marriage will be a powerful marriage.
So we have been, just to share, so we have been on the other side, where, I don't know, this is just, I just want to understand whether this is, here in India, we are raised as a son, as a guy, we are raised as a son, and we don't know when we get married how to treat our wife. We mostly get sandwiched between our parents and wife. Wife wants her husband to be her priority. Parents, my son, I'm losing my son, and we get sandwiched. But when we understood, when she took that stand that I am the priority, and then I saw that visible change, that, oh my God, now I am her priority. Now this is my responsibility, and this is the time for me to act and understand. And then when I told my parents, things were smooth.
Yes.
So yes, we could definitely resonate.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much. It's the word which you used is, I loved it. Partnership.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I think we have the Indian culture and Chinese culture, rather the Asian culture is very much similar, that we put our parents as really the priority or the first hierarchy of respect. That can still stay, but I think we need to make them understand that, now we shift, but that does not mean we do not respect you lesser, you see.
Absolutely.
Good job for you, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Be the example, yeah.
And like in the difficult times, what made you both stick together? Whatever difficult time you might have faced in your relationship, whether personally or professionally, what actually made you to stick together, stay by each other?
I think normally things, difficult time, when couple face difficult time, usually, I don't know, it could be sickness, it could be relationship,
Money.
it could be money, etc. But most important thing is communication, right? You just need to communicate with each other and listen. Yeah. So when your spouse speak, you keep quiet and listen. And when you listen, that most of the thing can be solved, right? Most of the thing can be solved, and all the problem can be solved. This is probably how we go through our difficult time.
Wow.
The saying goes, tough time don't last, but tough people last.
Yes.
So you need to be tough and be grounded in your mindset, your emotion, we also have our faith that we stick on to read, So I think you have to be really tough to handle tough times.
Yeah, right. And were you guys always like this, or was it a journey? Because most of the people will have these questions. Now you are in this space. Now it would be easy for you to say this. But when this happens, how do you do things?
I believe that I believe that marriage, right, is not the end to romance, because a lot of people, when you are young, you're courting each other, you have romance. But I believe that you should be courting your wife every day. I do sing song to her. I send her, but she didn't. Sometimes she didn't tell me I like your song, etc. But I do sing song and send her songs. I do send her flowers once a week. Like I used to send her flower every day, but digital flower. But now with the COVID, send her real flower once a week. And so you do all these courting things. You see, I caught her every day, right?
Wow.
Stay in love, is working on it. It's not like, I'm in love and it's over. That's why, because we also believe you stay in love, you can be staying out of love one day. So better stay in love every day.
Wow.
But Sarah, to answer your question also in another way is that we were fortunate that, 30 years ago, we started this, we stumbled on this concept of personal development where, we believe that, everything can be learned and you don't have to be stuck with who you are. If you only learn to work on yourself, personal development, personal growth. So that's where we also met in those days, and we were already in the circuit of personal development, working on ourselves, to get what we want, that we don't have, we can, so a lot of books and the mindset change that you all probably know by now, through the learnings of Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, Robert Schuller, and those days, Robert Kiyosaki, that you can actually learn, so we started. So I think once you have some basic knowledge and you believe in it, work on it, you will get there. I can understand what you mean when somebody says saying is easy, but how do you get there? So how you get there is learn. So I think what you are doing right now in your sharing of this conscious couple through your viewers is a way to educate those who don't know yet, can say that, oh, if they can do it, I can do it, and I want to learn, to be involved, to hang around these people. So that's where I think it's one more way of doing it, that learn, you can learn to model other couples. So congratulations on doing what you're doing now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So much. So that's why we started this, because as a couple, what we realized that we don't have right example when it comes to marriage. There is mostly what we see is not the right thing on social media, and we tend to go there and we start to compare our marriage with them, which is a wrong example. So we wanted to bring the right example in front of people, so that they continue with their marriage, they make their marriages beautiful. And that's the reason we have built this Conscious Power Couple course, which we want to take it to as many as couples possible, so that they can live a beautiful married life. That's the mission. And one thing what I love, what you said is in love, like to stay in love every time. I love that. I really love that.
So we will give Sarah more tips. I give him more tips, okay?
Definitely, yes. Now, do you have some boundaries or rules or code of honor in your marriage which you have set with each other?
This definitely we must have boundaries. So for us, our boundary comes in the form of example, in a simple metaphor for one to understand is in the family, anywhere we are, I will make Richard the head of the family, the head of the business, and choose to stay just as the neck, and the neck just control the head. Okay. And then sometimes in decision making, I come from a military background where I used to run some restaurants and catering businesses in the military outfit, and so in some decision making processes, we also have boundaries, rules that I make him the general of the army on the top, and I again choose to be below as a major, and he makes all the general decision, and I just make the major decision. So we exist, we coexist together quite happily.
So we have a give and take relationship, you know, give and take relationship. I give, she take.
Oh, you guys are so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely have boundaries, you know, based on some of this that, you know, for me it's always about making him okay, don't make him look bad, you know, appreciate him, you know. Sometimes in business, even decisions he made, I may not like it, but I will support him, and then we talk separately at home, you know, or outside the meetings, or we usually pre-discuss some decisions, important decisions. We pre-discuss what should be the way to do it, and we'll be so definitely. And in the boundary of business, in the family also we have boundaries very much in looking after children. I used to remember in the younger day, I am the Ministry of Home Affairs. I provide, I do the buying of things, giving the children things, but he is the Ministry of Disciplinarian, you know, the do's and the don't, the punishment will come from him. So it's quite clear, so the children also will not sort of take advantage of playing games. So they know, you see, that when they want something, they'll come to me, but they know they make a mistake, it would be the daddy to be, I say, not punishing or even coaching them. So quite clear roles that we play in that way. Correct. So we don't have, that's why we don't end up with conflict.
And yeah, even what you said, the roles define, even that helps. Defining the roles, like what is your role as a wife, as a mother, and what is your role as a husband, as a dad. That makes things really better. And then what made you start business together?
Okay,
maybe just
I can answer that easily. Of course, when I met Richard, and he was doing his he started Success Resources already, and I was also running my own food and catering business. And but one day, you know, Richard was blessed with cancer of the colon, and yes, it was like 30 years ago. And you know, when something like this happens to your loved one, you will stop and give up everything. Yeah. So I gave up my business on the context of I just want to look after him, because colon cancer is caused by high stress, lifestyle, and the food that you eat, you see. And those days he was traveling a lot. And the only way for me to feel certain about taking good care of him is to hang around him, take care of what he eats, and that how he does his work, not overwork or whatever. So I decided to give up all my businesses and went to just follow him to office and make sure he eats the right food, bring the right food, we cook ourselves and all that. Of course, at that was 1995 when the first time we brought Anthony Robbins to Singapore. And you know, when I was in the office, other than feeding him, the lunch, dinner, or tea breaks, you know, and I got nothing to do. And that moment with Tony Robbins promotion, the newspaper advertisement, radio ad, the office phone was non-stop ringing, you know, and I thought, I am sitting here myself, I made myself useful and start picking up the phone to help to answer calls and just to keep myself occupied. And of course, long and short of it, I kind of enjoy answering the phone and then start handling sales inquiry, and I like it. And then I didn't realize that instead of, I stayed there till now, you know, handling sales, handling the team, and slowly build the business together with him. So that's how I started working for Richard. It wasn't planned. I call it by accident.
Accidentally, I have a free labor.
True.
Free but very expensive labor.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's how we started. I started joining Richard in Success Resource, and
Okay.
we
Okay.
grew together the business, looking after different things.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow.
And
That's
as it's,
inspiring. Seriously.
yeah, and it says there are no accidents, there are no coincidences.
Mm,
That's
Mm.
meant
that's
to be.
right.
That's what
It's meant to be. Yeah.
yes. Beautiful. Very inspiring.
And how do you keep your professional and personal life different? So do you have boundaries there as well, or
Yeah,
you
we have boundary, but I think that the thing is that you have to be. Veronica is really, really amazing, right? Really, really amazing person. She runs the international part of the business, and lots of people come to me and say, "Richard, can we do something with you?" I say, "Yeah, that area belongs to Veronica, so please go and talk to her." But I'm very, very fortunate because Veronica is very, very straightforward. Straightforward. So that solved a lot of problems. Like for example, I think one time, in the house, I told Veronica, I say, darling, I need more space. And she said, good, sleep outside. So she's very straightforward, right? So that solved a lot of problem in our professional life.
Yeah, because I believe in being vulnerable and speaking the truth and not to pretend. If you're not happy, you must just speak up and don't. Sometimes women tend to be suppressed a bit and we like to suffer silently. But I think you have to speak up and tell your partner or your spouse what you don't like, what you like, or what hurts you, and what you are not happy about. And then only you understand, because men think differently. I'm sure you agree, right? And we just have to be upfront and tell him. So, so some of the you need quality time, you ask for it, and then we don't talk about work at home. But other than that, because this is our own business, and it's very difficult to draw a fine line that, you don't talk about business, you do talk about business, especially when you're operating on passion, where if you just enjoy what you do, you do get mixed up. The only thing we try not to talk about work at home is when we are hanging out with our children, because I think it's quality time for them. We want to be here to be for them, and so we do not talk much about work, but more of what we want to know, what's happening to them, you see. So we make effort consciously to make quality time. If we have to go out for a meal together, or we go out with families, so we make conscious decision.
Nice. This happens a lot even with us, that mixing up, talking about what we are working on, because we both love what we are doing. So always and every time talking about it. So even this happens a lot. But thanks to Sharad, because he always brings me back that, okay, now let's not talk about this. This is our time.
Correct. Yeah.
So your schedules would be really busy, right? Both of you. So how do you manage to spend that quality time with each other?
Okay. So if I talk about before the COVID, where we were really busy flying around differently, he will be in Singapore while I'll be in London, I'll be in Europe, he'll be in Australia or any part of the world. So we are hardly at home, always more on the plane or in a foreign land. Yeah. Some of the things that for me, I guess quality time doesn't mean have to be physically together. The fact that I know or he knows that we are thinking of each other in what we do, I think is enough for me to treat it as a quality time. Say, for example, he texts me a lot when I'm away. Like he said earlier, he sent me a digital flower every day to cheer me up, to brighten my day. He will sometimes get caught in what to order in the restaurant. He sends me the menu, say, dear, can you help me to order what should I eat, and choosing the food for him. So I think similarly, we maintain contact a lot through digitally, and of course, today when it is COVID, the world has changed. That's why I find that this is really a moment for us to reboot ourselves, reset ourselves, that we now spend so much time together to rebuild, what we always wanted to do, and and I'm enjoying it. What about you? Are you enjoying hanging around with me now in COVID?
Right? So it's more opportunity to be together.
Mm, mm.
I love you guys. You're so adorable.
Actually,
So like, I
yeah,
mean, so I see so much of love between you both.
true. But I mean, this concept I liked it, that it's not that spending quality time when you're physically together. You know, even when you're away, how you can spend that quality time. So it depends on how we take, right? So if our partner is sending us the message, whether we are taking this as okay, it's a regular thing, or we are taking that okay, so this is something how we are spending our quality time. Our partner is thinking about us. So it's actually about us, how we think, how our partner is making that effort to remember us, sending us maybe a flower, maybe a song, or maybe just a I love you message. So that really differs or makes the difference, I feel.
And he literally really, will sing me a song and send me, he say, I'm in the hotel room and let me sing you a song, So I thought,
Wow.
Wow, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful.
I guess we have already spoken about this, but if you summarize, what is the secret sauce or success mantra of your marriage?
for me, it's really about respect,
Mhm.
about being respectful of each other and knowing that this is a man thinks differently and I think differently, and don't force him to be something he's not. Allow him to be who he is, So I think it's all about respecting him. I take it further. It's about adoring him. I'm a greatest fan of him, and I think that's for me is that good enough already. That will, so he is a great support and a great helper. So that's for me.
Wow.
Yeah, for me, it's love, right? Because I love my wife, and everything I do, I'll make sure that she's happy.
And what would be the advice you would like to give to the married couples?
The best gift you can give your children is to love their mother.
Wow, so
Yeah,
beautiful.
for me, to all listeners, viewers, my advice is don't be a woman who needs a man. Be a woman that a man needs. And if you're a man, be that man, okay?
Wow,
Wow.
wow,
Brilliant.
so beautiful, so beautiful. Loved it, loved it. Seriously.
What are the three most things which you love about each other?
Okay, the best thing I like about Veronica is that she has this sixth sense, and she is a relationship person, and that helps me a lot, because sometimes I stay away from noisy people or difficult people, but she has always had a way to handle them. So I look good because my wife handle all the difficult people.
For me, what I like about Richard is really, I think I've got a lot, but if it's just to sum up, those of you who get to know Richard, he is such a simple man, and he doesn't demand or needs a lot of frills and stuff. What he eats, what he wear, and all he does is like, the kindness in his heart, the caringness, the giving. Like I cannot describe. He will go all out to do little things for, not just for me, but for my family, my mother, for my niece and nephew, my brothers, sisters, and can you imagine what more he will do for me? Yeah, so I think, and not just again family, for other people, and he will make time to do little things for people, and that's I think the pureness of his heart. That's all about availability and serving others, and I love him for that. Yeah.
Wow.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
I'm in so love with you both.
Same here.
Thank you so much.
And what would you the definition of love for you? Feeling.
Okay, for me, I think love is to love unconditionally, and I think love is actually representation of God. God, love is God.
Yeah.
You live your life loving people, loving things, and then people can see that there's a God in you, that you are living that life. So to me, love is God.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important that your children look at you and they become who they learn, right? So when you love your spouse, love their mother, etc., that will give them, that will really forms foundation in them, so that when difficult time come, they can handle, and that's very important. So that probably is important for sharing.
Living the life of powerful couple does not only help the relationship between each partner, but also building the future of our kids.
Absolutely, yeah. So you're on the right path. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. And
Thank you for this opportunity to share.
Continue to inspire couples by leading the example.
We just want to take it to as many as couple possible. That's our mission. That's it.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Right.
So take care.
One thing which we missed, Richard was supposed to sing a song for you.
I sent her on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Wow.
Is warmer than the warmer sunshine, softer than the sun. My love is deeper than the deepest ocean, wider than the sky. My love is brighter than the brightest star that shines every night above. And there is nothing in this world that can ever change my love. Once I thought that love was meant for everyone else but me. Once I thought that no one knew the way. Now it only goes to show how wrong we all can be. 'Cause now it seems I love you more each day.
wow, that's so beautiful.
Oh, see, that's how sweet he is, yeah.
It's such a pleasure talking to you both.
Such
Thank
a
you
pleasure.
so very much.
Seriously. And I'm so glad that I'm getting to talk to you both. I just wanted it from such a long time when I was attending Satsangyan events and all the training programs. And whenever at the end, we all used to give you both gratitude, and we were like, I want to meet them. And I'm so glad that today I'm here interacting with you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
But that reminds me one thing. Similarly, I think, Anjali, Sarah is also doing a lot of things for you. Example, I know when your birthday, he set it up and said, Veronica, can you send her a message, because it will make her day. Because she's a great fan of you. So, and it's another example of what Sarah is also doing by, looking at the little things that will make you happy and bring you joy. So keep up the good work, Sarah.
Thank you.
I agree.
Yeah, we wish you all the best, and
Sure, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's brighter than the brightest star that shines every night above. And there is nothing in this world that can